Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the British Beaufighter Mk X sitting at 3.0 battle rating in the line. Yes, we are back at rank 2 British, working hard on the rank review. As you may or may not know, you've seen a couple of videos from me from rank 2. I have 3 planes left to go, and yeah, so we're working on it hard. I barely contain myself getting back to rank 2 British. We did do a few reviews on the new planes, which are also interesting, but it's mostly jets, and I needed to get back to some props, man. I love these things. So another Beaufighter, a little bit of a different setup than the Mk 6C, but a great plane nonetheless. Now, before we get into the details, if you do enjoy this video, do make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and make sure to become a subscriber if you are not yet. There's a lot of content coming, a lot of rank reviews, a lot of other series that I intend to continue, so be sure to click that big red button. Now, also I want to ask you to join me on Locals and on Rumble. These are my other alternative platforms, and especially Locals, where I have a lot of unique content on other subjects than War Thunder that might interest you. So, and you can also, if you want, support me there financially and become an active supporter. Thank you if you do that. I highly appreciate the support, man. You don't know how much that means. Okay, so let's get into this Beaufighter. She is a little bit heavier than the Mk 6C because she has 6 extra guns. She has 6 7.7 machine guns added to the cannons, and well, that just gives the plane a lot of extra weight, so a little bit less good in climb rate, maneuverability and stuff like that. Performance, the differences are not big, but she's faster on the deck, but she's slower on higher altitude, those kind of things. So let's get into it. The maximum speed in this Beaufighter is 462 kilometers an hour at sea level without web, and 495 with web. At 4500 meters this is 390 without and 415 with, and finally at 6500 meters still go up to 320 without web and 346 with. Now, this war emergency power on this plane is quite powerful, makes quite a bit of difference, and can be nice in maneuvering or dogfighting a plane. Of course, you don't want to be the focal point of any dogfight or any maneuver, but you know, sometimes shit happens. You do have a gunner on the roof, and you do have a lot of firepower, so yeah, it is good. These speeds, by the way, are in indicated airspeed without Mk. Top speed in the dive is 642 for the red line and 730-ish before she rips apart. Those speeds are not fantastic at 3.0 battle rating for the dive, so this plane is not really a boom and zoomer, it's not really a turn fighter, and it is also not really an energy fighter. It is basically a support fighter that is also capable of the close air support role. Soft targets though, but there is that. It can do that, definitely. It has a lot of ammo. In that dive, the performance is alright. There is a little bit of compression. Control stiffening starts at 450 in the roll compression, and 600 you get a big tick, and it really becomes much less good in the roll rate. And not that it is great to start off with in the roll rate, but for such a big plane it is not half bad. I wouldn't complain too much about the maneuverability in this plane when it comes to that, because she's a big lady, and she still can do a thing or two. She has quite nice elevator control for a plane this big, and you can definitely surprise people with the maneuverability. They might not expect it, but this is all when you're fighting against more beginning pilots, right? If you're flying against a peer in a 109 or something, you have to be really careful, and you will probably not win in that maneuver fight, right? That is most likely. The stall speed in this plane is 105 kilometers an hour, 2 powerful engines, quite nice, that stall speed, but the handling becomes difficult then, it becomes a bit sluggish, so be aware of that. Firepower in this plane is excellent, it's better than in the other Beaufighter, and that is because you're running with the 4 20mm Hispano Mark IIs that the other one has, a little bit more ammo with 283 rounds per gun. But then in this plane you also have 6 7.7 Browning machine guns with 1000 rounds per gun, in the wings, 4 in one wing and 2 in the other wing. There's also still that turret, a 7.7mm Vickers K machine gun with 1000 rounds as well. Now I used universal and stealth, and I quite like both of those. For the 7.7s, there is, for the 20s, there is air targets, stealth and universal that are quite competitive. I used all 3 of them. I prefer the air targets myself, but if you want the option of surprise, the stealth belt is always nice. This plane can also be equipped with 8 rockets and a torpedo if you would want to, so it can have a role in naval and in some ground pounding, ground RB as well. And with these machine guns you have so much ammo for soft targets, it is insane. So the close air support role for this plane is definitely one of the main things that it can do. So excellent ammo loads on this plane, absolutely freaking amazing. The acceleration in this plane when it comes to performance is average, both in a straight line and in a dive. The energy retention in the horizontal is definitely below average, and in the vertical average. This is worse than on the earlier Beaufighter, but that is because of the extra weight. There's 6,000 rounds of ammo in those 6 machine guns, added to the weight of the machine guns alone as well. So you have a lot of extra weight, and that just doesn't really transfer to vertical performance. So it's not good there. Also the climb rate is a bit impeded because of that. She has decent climb rate still though for a plane like this. Turn time in the plane is below average, average with flaps, with 415 kilometers an hour being the rip speed for the flaps. Roll rate is below average, especially compared to the single seat fighters, of course. So the overall maneuverability is below average, but for a plane this big, that isn't half bad. Right? I mean, the elevator on this thing isn't half bad. It is quite decent, but as she's a 2-engined big fighter with quite a bit of heaviness in the wings because of those 6 machine guns that are put in the wings. With that ammo, it is the roll rate became a little bit less good there. Overheating is present with WEP, but it's definitely manageable. It does cool down fairly quickly, so you do have that, and it wasn't too much of a problem, I have to say. Durability is good. It can take quite a bit of damage, has the 2 engines. Just in a frontal head-on, you have a bit of a problem with the pilot being right there and not having too much armored protection. Yeah, so you do get sniped sometimes, there is that, but again, it doesn't happen too often. Repair cost 2,941 Silver Lions. This is actually a decent repair cost at 3.0. There are planes that are worse, but it's not freaking fantastic, but it's okay. Rewards in this plane: 260% multiplier on the research point, and a 180 multiplier on the Silver Lion. The research point multiplier is good, and so is the Silver Lion one. This plane gets some pretty damn good rewards, and thus might be very tempting for you to fly if you're grinding through the line. It's good rewards, decent repair cost, so it is a good economy plane when it comes to that, especially if you can get a few planes, and after that you can let loose on, you get some time on soft targets. You can rack up quite the scores and can get some nice results in there. As I said, this plane, it is not really good in any of the traditional fighter roles. When it comes to boom and zooming or energy fighting or turn fighting, it is basically a support fighter. You can keep yourself on the fringes and come in with this awesome firepower and wreak havoc among your opponents that are focusing on other planes. That is how you preferably use this plane in air RB, but it is also very capable of close air support. With these guns, 6,000 rounds of ammunition on soft targets, you can just get a hell of a lot of results when it comes to that, and shoot a lot of targets, especially with some columns in there. You know, certain maps are better for that than others, so you'll have to choose that, but you don't have to take any bombs or something. You do have rockets, so if you do want to make yourself a dedicated ground attacker that just heads on people that come in from above to kill you, you can definitely do that. 8 rockets is nice. It's another 4 targets, medium tanks, pillboxes, and then you have those awesome amount of small caliber ammunition to shoot at the soft targets, which is just gonna net you a lot of results as well. And she has the 4 cannons that can wreak havoc on the enemy fighters. I had a lot of fun in this plane. I can definitely highly recommend it. The Beaufighters are often overlooked, and that is really a shame, because the Beaufighters are just so lovely when it comes to heavy fighters, or what we used to call attackers. We call them strike aircraft now, but for us early day war thunderers, we call them still attackers. At least I do. I'm used to that. But this is a great plane, man, the Beaufighter. And I think this one has a new model. Looks awesome. Anyway, that was the Beaufighter. That were the matches. Let's see what we got for that 4-kill match. Let's see what kind of rewards we got. Final Blow, Mission Maker, Best Squad, Anti-Mech, Terror of the Sky, and Bulletproof. Almost 35,000 Silver Lions and a lot of research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now with these textures, I think this one has new textures, because it looks so sharp and pristine that I just like, wow man, this thing looks good. But it's also fun, man. The Beaufighters are very, very interesting planes. Many people overlook them. You don't see them that often anymore. It's because they are of course not stellar, they're not really excelling, but they're sturdy, they have fantastic amounts of firepower, they have huge amounts of ammo, and as a support fighter and as a close air support in these matches from, yeah, where its range is, right, from 2.0 to 4.0, lots of soft targets on the map. This second Beaufighter, this Mark X, can, with these machine guns, 1,000 rounds per gun, can wreak havoc on the soft targets and on columns, and you know, it's very interesting. And with the firepower of the cannons and the machine guns combined, you do shoot planes down very easily, especially when you get the aim down. Of course, the guns are in the belly of the plane, so you need to give a little bit more lead there. But yes, it's awesome fun. I had a great time in both of these Beaufighters. That's why I made reviews on them, because I realized I hadn't done that yet on the Beaufighters. But yeah, definitely 2 planes to think about, aside from Hurricanes and Spitfires that are awesome. When it comes to that, the British Rank 2 has a lot of options and a lot of fun planes to fly. So do consider the Beaufighter for a visit or two. Do spade it, get the full Beaufighter experience and enjoy the plane, because he is definitely a bird to enjoy. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment. And if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.